Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 17th of October 2023. The Haunted by Daylight event has now started and it's okay. I've been playing it a lot and getting all the rewards and stuff, but playing solo queue in events like this is absolutely miserable because people just play like such twats, like on the killer side. Like obviously not all killers, like sometimes I actually have a very good time and I get what I need to get done. But a lot of the time, people just play so like rude and selfish, and it's just really frustrating. But anyway, let's get started with the shrine review. First of all, we have Iron Maiden, which is a Legion perk, and this perk has you open lockers faster, and then anyone who exits a locker from hiding from it, has exposed status effect for 30 seconds, and you also see their aura for 4 seconds. So this perk is another weird niche one. There's a lot of perks like this in the game where like they're sort of good and like they do what they need to do, but like they're just quite niche in general. Like this perk, I think for Huntress and for Trickster, I think it's really helpful to open lockers faster and get your power back faster. I think, of course, that's very helpful. It can be good in general because if you're trying to find someone who's in a locker, obviously, if they're not in that locker, then you just close it faster. You're not wasting as much time. But I think the main thing people associate this perk with is Doctor, and Doctor has it so his static blast obviously hits you and makes you scream. But if you're in a locker, then it doesn't. It hides you. But obviously, it's at the cost of obviously being stuck in a locker. So this perk, I think, is mainly used on Doctor for those survivors, sorry, who hide in lockers to try and hide from the static blast. Other than that, I don't really see much of a use for this perk. It is nice, like I said, like exposed for 30 seconds is quite decent, and you get to see what they are as well. But I think, there's definitely other options, and there's definitely other things you should rather be using. Next up, we have Grim Embrace, which is an artist perk. And this perk has, so every time you hook a survivor, you get a token. And once you get 4 tokens, aka hooking all 4 survivors at least once, the entity will block all the generators for 40 seconds, and then the obsession is revealed to you for 6 seconds. So, again, it's quite a niche perk. It's a bit better than Iron Maiden because I feel like it's a perk that promotes, like, not anti-camping, I guess, or anti-tunneling, you know what I mean? Like, because you have to hook everyone, has to be every unique survivor. You have to hook them all. Like the same way barbecue kind of used to work, where you get tokens for hooking individual survivors. And then you get every generator blocked for 40 seconds, and you see the obsession. So I think just try and remember for this perk to keep the obsession alive and leave them last, try to avoid them if you can. Which I guess is a downside in itself, this perk, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. But 6 seconds is quite nice. And 40 seconds is, honestly, in my opinion, a bit too short for going out of your way to hook everyone. Like sometimes, like I have matches obviously where, you just run into each individual survivor like one after the other. So in case like that, it's fine. But sometimes like you'll only see the same survivor and like you don't mean to tunnel or camp, but like there's no one else around and you can't really just let someone go. So I feel like in that case, it kind of fails. And obviously if one survivor is keeping you focused all game, it's very hard for you to go and find other people if they're hiding, if they're going chase, if they're just whipping through all the objectives. Then maybe when there's one generator left, it doesn't really matter a whole lot that they all get blocked. And like I said, I think 40 seconds is maybe a bit too short, which I don't know if some people will agree with that or not. That's just my opinion. I just feel like it's not a lot of time, but I guess it is in some cases. But it's a bit shorter than like Dead Man's Switch, for example. But Dead Man's Switch you get for hooking people. Just getting any hook. In this one you have to hook everyone, so I feel like it's niche but not bad. I just don't think it's like great or terrible exactly. Next up is Boon Circle of Healing, which is a Michaela perk. Michaela's the one with all the boons. This one used to be very problematic, and I'm sure you know what it is, but it basically just lets you put up a boon within 24 meters and you can heal everyone else 100% faster. You can see injured survivors auras in the range of the boon, and it used to be able to do it so like you can heal yourself in there, and it used to be a huge problem. And nowadays I think boons honestly are kind of extinct. I feel like people never use them. I used to think people started using them recently, but it turns out the void portals for the Halloween event make like a similar noise, or it's the same noise, but yeah. So I used to keep thinking like they were boons all of a sudden, but no, it was just portals. So basically, yes, boons aren't really used anymore. Circular healing used to be incredibly strong, and now they've just done it so you can't heal yourself. It's more focused on healing others. Like I said, you can see people's in the boon aura. You can see the auras in the boon, sorry, and it makes you heal others faster, but you can't heal yourself. And I feel like it's still good. I think like that's still good. Because perks like empathy, botany knowledge, desperate measures, they still also have really good healing speeds and like will make it and stuff. So I feel like it's not like a terrible perk. I just think people aren't really as interested in using that because, like I said, I haven't seen a boon used in ages, and when I do, it's not very, it's not game changing. It's not like, oh, I need to go out of my way to get rid of this. I'm just kind of like, oh, there's a boon. That's quite cool. I still think it's good, but I do think like the boom meta is sort of done now, and I feel like again, like, it's a weird one. Like I like it, and I use spoons every so often, but I think it's just like not very necessary anymore because there's so many healing perks and items and perks and add-ons and stuff to let you see people and see if people are injured and buffs to healing speed and stuff. And obviously the main problem I think is obviously 24-meter range. If you've got it in the corner of the map or your teammates put it in like a really weird spot or like a dead zone sort of, it's kind of hard to be motivated to go all the way over there to go and heal, So again, I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's like great anymore because I feel like it really has gone through its glory days now, and I think it's just kind of done with now, and people are just moving on to other healing perks. Like I said, I've been using Will Make It recently, and that's been amazing, and that's also the same outspeed, but that doesn't allow me being in a boon aura range. So I think it's okay, but ultimately I think you can skip out on this one. And finally, we have Residual Manifest, which is a Haddy perk. This perk has so every time you blind the killer is affected with the blindness status effect for 30 seconds, and it also lets you rummage through an already open chest and guarantee a basic flashlight to use. So this perk is like Appraisal a bit, which lets you rummage through an already open chest for like any item. That time you can do it 3 times, but this one is only once, and it only just gives you a flashlight, which is obviously still fine. And then once you blind the killer by any means, it can be a flashlight or a blast mine or anything like that, then it does let you apply the blindness status effect to the killer, which is really interesting because as far as I know, there's no other way to give killer status effect. Like I know Chemical Trap gives hinders, but I think other than that, I'm not entirely sure if there's other perks or items that like do that. But anyway, I think this perk's quite interesting because of that. However, blindness to the killer, I'm pretty sure the only major thing that it affects is generator auras, and I feel like killers still, if they if they play a lot anyway, they probably know where the generator locations are on the map anyway, but also they can just look for the lights above, which is what survivors have to do because obviously survivors don't see generator auras. So I feel like it kind of fails, I guess it can work for like hooks as well, but so obviously you have to be timed with them picking up a survivor within that 30 seconds, and if they know they're blind, they might not. So I think it's a really interesting perk, and I definitely use it from time to time, but I'm not really someone who uses a flashlight a lot, so for me, it's not a big incentive, but I feel like it's an interesting perk. I feel like you'll face this every once in a while, and once you face it, you're like, oh, they've got Residual Manifest, okay. But I feel like you'll quickly adjust to it because, like I said, every other time you can just constantly see the auras, and obviously as more generators get done, it narrows it down anyway, so I feel like it's not a terrible perk, and like I said, I think it is quite fun, and obviously I think if you're better and your play style is more geared towards that, then this perk is obviously brilliant for you because, like I said, that's the whole point of the perk is to be aggressive like that and get benefit from it. So, and like I said, as far as I know, you don't have to use that flashlight that you get from this perk. It can just be a flashlight you bring in, it can be a blast mine that you use, it can be a flashbang, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it just works anytime the killer gets blinded. It did say any kill blind action, so yeah, keep that in mind. But anyway, guys, that would do from me. These perks are quite niche. I think, like Boon Circular Healing, I think, again, like I'm not going to say no to it, but I just think, like, these days, and there's definitely better things you could use. Iron Maiden, if you like to play Doctor, you like to mess around with the Exposed Status effect, or you like to play Huntress and Trickster a lot, for some reason, then this perk's good for you for that regard because the reloading is really good. But even in that sense, they do have reloading add-ons, so again, you can make up your mind on that. And the other perk, I forgot which one it is already, but I think they're okay. You can mainly skip out on these ones, but it's your playstyle really. Like if you want to get Residual Manifest because you think it sounds fun, go for it. It's not for me personally, but I know that obviously everyone plays the game differently, which is what's fun about these shrines and perks. I'm not someone who's going to use Residual Manifest a lot, but there's people who have just heard about this perk and now they're going to use it all the time. So Hope you guys found this useful. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.